What up, sir? Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me?
Yo,
Wow, that's a good setup. It still looks good.
what up, bro? What's going
let
on, man?
let me.
Connection issues.
There we go. I think we're good. Welcome aboard, TJ.
Hey, man,
Um,
thanks for having me, bro.
Absolutely. Just started out randomly a couple weeks ago. Just started talking to. Well, first of all, I'm just talking to right now. I'm talking to all the black divers that I know. Uh, Period. Later on we'll expand that to others, and hopefully we'll have a great conversation as divers along the way. But for right now, divers getting coffee. We're talking to interesting divers across the board, near and far, and we'll see how it goes.
I dig it, man. I like what you're doing, bro, because I feel like when we see each other out in the public or we run across Instagram feeds or like YouTube channels, we're so taken back ourselves. We're like, oh, it's another black diamond. You
I
know what
know,
I mean?
right?
So now it's like we all get to kind of meet each other, and through this, we'll start following each other and connecting, and going different places. So I think you're doing an awesome thing for the community. You know what I mean?
That's a great point because actually, as you mentioned, I actually realized that I know more black divers on Instagram than I've actually ever gone diving with. I've
Yeah.
actually only been on a dive boat with one other black diver, but hundreds of dives and it's still out there. So yeah, that's why I'm having this conversation. Hopefully we use this to set up a trip and go somewhere and dive together or something. I don't know. We'll see
I'm
how it
with it, bro.
goes.
I'm with it.
Before we get started, I'm just gonna shout out real quick to my man right here, 15 Fathoms, 15_Fathoms, FATHOMS, veteran-owned business based out of San Diego, California. Tommy and team, you guys are amazing. Just want to shout out and say salute. Thank you for your service. And are you in the military, sir? Or were you?
I'm currently serving. Yeah. I
I
try
want
to I
to.
try to keep it on the low because it's like it's not like a big secret. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's
I feel you.
I try to keep my military life separate than what I do my personal life. I don't like them to intertwine too much. Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it is what it is. But for the most part, I just try to, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
kind of bifurcate both sides. Well, I just want to say sincerely, thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, let's get into it. Any questions or comments before we get started?
Um, Not really, man. I just want to say I'm honored that you would have me on here. You
Oh,
know what I mean? Like,
we appreciate your adventures, and we've been seeing. I know a lot of people probably have questions about. I do. I have questions. How do you get dope images? But we'll get to that in a minute. First of all, let's take it from the top. Please introduce yourself, who you are, where you live, and what you do.
all right. So my name is Thomas T.J. Mangum. Um, I'm a dive instructor. I'm also a cinematographer and a photographer. I'm currently in the Army. Hopefully, I can get up out of there. I've done my time. I'm ready to go. Have some fun. Been diving for, believe it or not, only 5 years now. And
Wow.
yeah, like once I get done with the military and I put that behind me and I hang up my boots, I'm going full blast YouTube and diving. So for those that are out there, if you didn't know, I do have a YouTube channel. If you just go search TJ Diver on YouTube, plug, you'll find me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And again, thank you for your service. Still
Thank
out
you, sir.
there fighting a good fight. You are, amongst many things, a diverse cinematographer. That explains a lot because your images, your shots are pretty amazing. I mean, I'm looking
Oh
like,
man, I
wow,
appreciate
that's Aquaman stuff.
it. I appreciate it, bro.
How
I
did you get
appreciate
into
it.
diving? What got you started? Why
So
diving?
as a kid, I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Hmm.
Um, and marine biology is all about science. I absolutely suck at science, so I was just like scrapped it. Like I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. I'll never, I'll never be a marine biologist. I'm never getting in the water. And then I lived in Honduras for a year, and a flyer came across my desk, and one of my soldiers was just like, "Hey, can I go take the scuba diving class?" And I think it was like $40, and I was like,
Oh wow.
"I'm like, yeah, you can go take it, but make sure they got a slot for me too." You know, and then the dude was like, "Yeah, come on out." So we went out, went diving, and we did our discover scubas in the pool, and we did our confined waters in the pool, and then we went out to the ocean. Like from that day on, man, I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna be an instructor." Too easy.
Wow. Just like that. It's actually funny you mentioned that because when the current lockdown started, I was in Honduras in Utila and made the way back to Roatan and eventually got back. But that was an interesting experience. So you started diving in Honduras. Great place
Yeah,
to learn how to dive. Great diving experiences all around. Pretty
absolutely.
good spot. You've been a few places so far. What's been the most interesting experience in your diving? I know you're native to Florida right now, right?
No, I actually live in Alabama.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
good
a
to know.
Georgia native, but I mean,
Right.
there's no spots to dive obviously in Georgia, Alabama. If you want to dive Blackwater, knock yourself out. But
Eh,
I go down to Florida, hit the springs, and then hit the Gulf, and that's where I'm at most of the time.
Ginny Springs out in Florida.
Yeah. So with the whole COVID thing right now, there is a lockdown for certain military personnel. We're locked down to a certain radius, and unfortunately, that's outside the radius that I can go. So I'm like confined to Vortex Springs and just right inside the Gulf. So that's where I'm diving at right now.
Wow, that's what's up. Respect, Katoon. Respect. Um, so we're talking about interesting encounters, right? You started diving in Honduras. You're based in Alabama. You do some of the springs out in Florida. Any other experiences so far that has kind of stuck out for you um, in the diving career, I guess?
If anything, I would say Belize. So the
The
reason I
Blue
say
Hole.
Belize because there's nothing like super spectacular about Belize,
Hmm.
but I think for me, I'm an introvert, but I'm a people person. You know what I mean? Like I respect how people treat other people, and I can kind of feel the vibe from other people if they're truly genuine. And I
Right.
tell you, the dive charters down there, like bar none, they will take care of you no matter where you come from. Um, the dude that kind of pulled me to the side, and he was like, "Hey man, how long you been diving?" And I told him, he said, "What's your rating?" And I was like, "I'm an instructor." And he was like, "Oh, all right, cool." And at that point, like I could do whatever I wanted to do. He was like, "Hey, just do your thing, boss." You know what I mean? And I was just like, I was just so taken back at how they take care of you and they treated you like your family. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really more of the diving itself. It was more of the experience dealing with the dive charter.
The above water experience. I mean, in 5 years though, that's a lot of diving. So they say it's not how long, it's how well. So you went from random, sure, I'll take my open water to scuba instructor in what, a couple years, and you've been diving for a few more
Yeah,
years since then.
yeah,
That's
man. It's you got if you want to go get it.
there's nothing stopping you, right? Because it's
Yep.
funny when I started, I really thought like you, it's something I wanted to do since I was a kid. I just never really got around to it. And when I started, it was just, oh yeah, get the first level and go dive occasionally. And next thing you know, I'm just kind of diving every weekend, and I just kept on going until I became a DM, but I just know I don't have the temperament to be an instructor. So,
Yeah,
so,
you do. Yeah, you do.
so I kind of just bowed out of that one. But um, here we are. Now, how has COVID-19, you touched on that a little bit earlier, how has the lockdown, the pandemic shutdown, or affected any plans you had for diving? We all have life going on as well. So do you have any trips planned that you canceled, or are you able to dive where you are right now?
Um. So, like I said before, I'm restricted to what I can do. Uncle Sam is pretty much my boss. So there's only so much I can do within a confined space,
Hmm.
or a certain radius. So right now, I'm just focusing on teaching. Going out to the Gulf, I'll go on spearfishing trips every now and then. I'll take the jet ski out for a spin every now and then. it is absolutely crushed. I don't want to say crushed my YouTube channel,
Mm.
but it's slowed down because I can only take you guys to the spring so many times. I can only show you what the inside of the cave looks like so many times. I can only
Yeah.
take you out to so many wrecks. You know what I'm saying? So it's like after a while, man, because I know how I am with YouTube. I'm like, yep, bro, seen it before, skip, skip. And I don't want to be that YouTuber to
Right.
always do the same thing but title it something different. So COVID-19 has absolutely halted my YouTube channel. It's actually slowed down my classes too.
Hmm.
Just because that interaction, as you know, Patty has some serious restrictions when it comes to how far you can deviate from teaching.
Right.
So I just altogether, just so I don't um, piss anybody off or do anything I'm not supposed to do, I just kind of I'll teach every now and then, but for the most part, I'm trying to focus on my cinematography, my schoolwork, and then doing what I need to do at work.
That's awesome, man. Your cinematography is your shots are amazing. I mean, I got to
Dude,
tell you,
I
did you
appreciate it.
st did you start that with underwater photography, or did you was that what's the connection? Is that something you wanted to do on your own, and you just kind of merged the two
Uh,
over time?
I think I started out as a kid with photography. I remember my brother. I used to get in trouble a lot, man, like a lot. I was I was hell on wheels. My brother gave me a Kodak camera, one of the ones where you click and you got to wind it and then drop it back off at CVS to get developed. He
Yeah.
gave me one of those long time ago, and like over the years, I would always like go back to photography because, like I said earlier, I'm an introvert, so I would go out and do certain things with photography, just take pictures and kind of clear my head. I went to school or started school for cinematography,
Right.
and then
Okay.
I was like, okay, this is cool. So then the light bulb clicked on. I was like, well, if this applies to a motion camera, this applies to a still camera. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I went out, purchased a camera, and then I just started applying what I knew. And then honestly, just start hitting the books and start teaching myself photography. And then boom,
And
I have a mentor. If you look up Susan Gunn Photography, she's amazing.
okay.
But I'll call Susan every now and then. I'm like, hey, I can't figure this out. And she's like, well, just do this or come down and we can hang out, we can shoot it. And like, she's on it. So, with people like her, and then I see your stuff and I'm just like, damn it, he outdid me, bro. I gotta go get this shot. I
I'm
gotta
not
go get this shot.
I'm not even I'm not a cameraman or a
Bro.
cinematographer in any regard. I just kind of think about the stories and kind of follow up to it. Maybe we got a film director, Khatun Aduak is on the bridge right now. He's
Mm-hmm.
asking only underwater. So TJ, you did a film recently, right? You did a short film, was it?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you full on cinematographer all around, not just
yeah.
underwater. So
So
Khatun,
so you
he's
know
all
who
over he's all around.
I'm trying, man. Andy Brandy Casagrande, ABC Explorer?
Yeah, he just did something for Shark Week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I met him at DEMA. So
Oh
I went to
yeah.
Denver. First off, the dude's like 5'4", and I'm 6'5", so I'm just like I was blown back. Like I knew this dude was at least 6'2". You know what I'm saying?
You know what
So
cameras do, right?
yeah, you know what I mean. So I'm talking to him, and I'm just like, yeah, man, this is what I want to do, blah 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 blah. And he kind of like he's a really nice guy. Don't get me wrong, but he kind of gave me, okay, yeah, shoot me an email. You know
Wow.
what I mean? Like he gave me that vibe, and I was like, okay. So then at that point, that's when I told myself, and this was DEMA 2019 last year.
Yeah,
So
that was the
this,
last thing
at,
because this one got canceled or is getting
yeah,
canceled.
yeah. And so this is when I told myself, I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna be that guy. Like you're
Mm,
not gonna be the only person to shoot Shark Week, but like not gonna happen. Like I'm shooting Shark Week one day. It's gonna
yeah.
happen. So the only way I can do that is get the equipment, hit the water, and teach yourself.
Mm,
So that's the idea that I'm working under is just whoever. Hey, if you want to go shoot
right.
spear fishing and shoot fish, whatever, and need me to record, I'm gonna do it because it's only gonna make me better.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's just take a minute. Let's see if we have any comments here. Thank you, Katung. Thank you for. Oh yeah, Katung is a filmmaker. He's based in Wisconsin. He has done a lot of film in Nigeria here. Um, And he actually has a real great IG live series going on right now, just talking about different topics going on every day in daily life, BLM issues, filmmaking issues, things like that. Amazing, amazing. Cartoon is
Katoon, hit me
awesome.
up, bro.
And Letitia, thank you. I do a lot of Lightroom edits, but everything I do, I kind of just do for fun. It's it's whatever.
So, bro, this is,
Hey, Cartoon moving out west.
bro. So,
Sorry,
so
guys.
this is like you say you do a lot of Lightroom edits, right? And that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like your photography is I think it's inspirational and it's spot on. Like if you don't want to travel after coming to your IG page, I don't. You got to be blunt. Like you got to be
appreciate it,
blunt.
bro.
But this is what I will say is that as a photographer and a cinematographer, it's not about. I'm over here breaking stuff. It's not
Yeah.
about. It's not about what you see.
Mm,
It's what about it's about what I make you see.
right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like I can take a picture to where if you look at it, and I'm not saying just me, I'm just saying a photographer and a cinematographer. That's our jobs. It's like when you look at something at first glance, you're like, whatever, you're gonna dismiss it.
Mm,
So you gotta bring life out of that image and jump out to that person and say, hey, look at me. You have to make it mean something to that person. You get what I'm
right.
saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like for you to be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, my pictures, they dope, but they not dope. No, dog, your pictures,
Die.
no, your pictures are dope. Like the one you just put on your story with you on the boat, and I was like, yep, I got to get that shot.
And that's one of the cool things about diving because it takes you to places and it makes you see things that say Bali, for example. I had no interest in seeing the swing or, there's certain monuments I personally don't care about because I think I can Google them and find out. But with diving, say 8 billion people on the planet, right? Let's say 2 million people dive or have gotten certified in the past 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a very small percentage. Let's look at active divers 450, 400,000. The places we dive are places maybe a handful of human beings will ever see in their lifetime, ever, unless
Facts.
we post and share about it so that maybe they experience it vicariously and maybe even get inspired to go dive themselves. So that's one amazing thing about diving. I think that's why it's very special. I mean, obviously, just breathing underwater in the first place. If you have a
Yeah.
buddy, you going with your buddy and you breathing, and like your life depends on it, and you will exchange and take that air. It's a very special bond,
Absolutely.
and that's why I think it's interesting that I think I find these conversations we're having very interesting. Yeah, COVID-19 kind of put the pandemic, the lockdown, put a damper in a lot of things we all had planned, right? So, especially as black men. And now check this out, Katsum. And with black women, it's a whole nother level of specialty. I mean, being a woman diving is one thing, yeah. But being a black woman diving, I think I was talking to a sister yesterday, Huda Brown. I think we're gonna have our own tomorrow. And she walks on a boat and people go like, what are you doing here?
Yep. Yep. Did you
Like,
forget something?
what are you doing here?
Yep.
And it's funny, like I know more black divers on Instagram than I've actually ever gone out diving with. And I think that's one thing I really want to personally change. I'm shouting out to all my brothers and sisters out here in LA. We'll go out diving, and folks like yourself. I had a trip planned with my Nigerian diver brothers, and they're kind of spread out all over the world. It was supposed to be in April, but C-19 kind of changed that, so we all got to get out at some point and do a dive together. I just put a bunch of black people on the boat. We'll get lit and we'll dive and we'll see how it goes.
I'm with it.
Yeah, but that's amazing. So, what do you have planned? What do you have planned? Do you have anything planned? Dive in any trips that you haven't changed yet? Um, any dive experiences that you're looking forward to in the near future?
So you're probably gonna think I'm crazy for saying this, but
Mm. Oh,
after
we're all
20
crazy.
years of yeah, right. You got to be a little crazy to dive and then go to the depths that we go to. But No, after 20 years of being in the military, like once I complete my 20 years, I think I'm gonna get lost for a year.
Wow.
In Indonesia, Thailand. Um, I'm gonna say like I'm leaving,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll probably Chappelle everybody and
Mm.
just go somewhere for a year and kind of just sit back and think about the last 20. You know what I'm saying? And I think those places are where I'm gonna start diving. Like I'm gonna just go. I want to be that. The big black American dude that lives on the end of the street. That's the dude you want to talk to. That's gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? Like beard and salt and pepper dreads, and just that's gonna be me. I'm gonna be there for a while, and then I'm gonna come back to civilization.
Yeah.
I think I really want to do Indonesia. Like I want
Mm.
to go sail. I think that's probably gonna be like my next big step is to get a sailboat. Um, Nothing extravagant, just like a catamaran or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then do some sailing around the world and just dive, man, and enjoy the planet. I don't think we as people really take in what we have here on Earth, and that's one of the good things about being a diver. Everybody else is running around here hiking and stuff and doing all their I don't knock that at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But how much
There's a
ocean
whole
do you
lot
got
more.
out there? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's so much that we haven't even touched yet, and that we'll probably never get to. But I
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to go and explore some of those places. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. And yeah, just taking a sabbatical. You earned it. Served the
Yeah,
country for that for a huge chunk of your life. And
brother.
time to take it in and feel what you feel and
Yeah,
explore.
absolutely.
Tung said Thailand is awesome. Yeah. When I got stuck in Honduras, the original plan was to go to Thailand, but well, January pandemic started and changed to Honduras. Eventually, we still got stuck there. But yeah, Southeast Asia is amazing. I personally, at some point, want to take a sabbatical and just sail the South Pacific, Tonga, just all over the
Right.
place. So I personally, what you just said resonates with me a lot.
Let's
Go to
go.
sailboats, something easy, Beneteau, the Beneteau 40 or 48 or something like that, and go out and have fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And hope you share it on your YouTube and your Instagram so we all see your adventures
Come on,
and see
brother.
how you're doing.
You already know. You already know. Hey, shout out to my man Justin. I think he just came in the room. Just add
Welcome
water.
aboard, Justin. Welcome, welcome. You're right. First, when you Katoon said when you do that, black people will officially stop dying first in horror movies.
We
That
hey,
is true.
we gonna change the game. We gonna
We're
change
gonna
the
change
game.
the game. Yeah, frontline fighters. Now, through your diving career, there's been barriers about uh, just the first one is being a human being breathing underwater. Your brain is telling you you are nuts. Um, then another one is well being black in a pretty white sport. This is not a political talk, so it's not about politics. It's really just about personally. Have you experienced any kind of barriers that made you feel like you had to quit, or you wanted to quit at the time you started, or through your experience, through your career so far, um, and how did you overcome that?
I'm not a I'm not a real big fan of quitting.
Mm,
Um,
all go, no
so
quits.
yeah, well, this is the thing. So if you put all the energy into trying to get me to not do something, I'm gonna
Hmm.
put that times 10 into actually trying to do it to piss you off. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
can't if you're a human like I'm a human, you're a man like I'm a man. Like you're not gonna stop me from doing anything I want to do. I'm gonna do it. I
Hmm.
think a lot of the times when you get on the boat, man, it's like you get that look.
I know that look.
Yeah, you the deckhand, you coming with us? Like what time are the snacks? You know what I'm saying? That sort of deal. And then I don't say anything because I have a rhythm that I go by when I go dive. Like I generally try to show up earlier and I
Hmm.
go, more so towards the bow of the boat, put my stuff down, kind of tuck my stuff away, come back. I may go off and vape a little bit. I kind of watch everybody, kind of get a feel for them.
Mm-hmm.
So during that time, people really don't know that I'm a diver. So
Mm-hmm.
the boat gets ready to leave, and I jump on the boat, and you see those looks. You know what I mean? And so we're out there, and I remember one lady, it was an older lady, older couple, had to be in their 60s. And she's just sitting across from me. When I say, look, if looks could kill, I'd have been one dead dude. And she was sitting there looking at me, and I knew why she was looking at me. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I didn't fit the mold of
Yeah.
a typical diver, which is fun. It's cool. You know how it is in the Caribbean and other places. It's like it's no big deal.
Right.
But I was in Florida, so we're sitting there. Not to mention, I'm almost 300 pounds, 6'5". So she's kind of like, "What is he doing here?"
Right.
Which
Right.
is crazy because as soon as we got in the water, and then I come descending past her, or whatever, and I hit her with this right here, and she
Like,
was like,
yo.
"Yeah, yeah." Hey, and she saw me, and she was like, "Okay." So then, as soon as we get back on the boat from the first dive, we're on our way to the second dive site. She starts to talk to me. So how long have you been diving? Blah 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 blah. So I think with her, she was just kind of apprehensive, like, like not why are you here, but more of a,
This is
are
an
you
anomaly.
diving? Yeah, like, are you diving? Do you work on the boat? Like, I'm not. I really don't know why you're diving because black people don't dive supposedly. And
Yeah.
then when she saw it, she was kind of like, "Oh, he cool." It's the same thing. It's the same thing when I go teach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll talk to somebody on the phone, and I'm like, "Hey, man, so yeah, I'll meet you there at 08, blah blah blah." I'll be into. I drive a white lifted Chevy Silverado with
Yeah.
35-inch tires on it. So that shocks a lot of people too. But I'm like, hey, I'm out by the big white Chevy, this, that, and the other. And you can see people walking past, like they'll call, like, hey man, I'm by the Chevy, I don't see it. I'm like, I'm right here.
Yeah.
And when they
This
see me, they're
Chevy.
like, yeah, they're like,
Oh.
because they didn't expect it. How many black
Mm.
dive instructors in the States anyway do you really see?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not really so much as a barrier. I think we spend more time debunking the stereotype that black people can't swim.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of it is comes from a malicious intent. It's just, I mean, in general, it's just not typical. It's an anomaly. So, like you said, you get that look. We've all had that look. Every black diver in this room, or every black diver in this chat, in anywhere in the water, has had that look. Like, can you even swim? But it's not a thing. Sometimes it might actually come across like jokingly, but it's kind of offensive. Um, it is offensive. Let me just put it that way, because you get that look, and that's another thing. It's a chip on your shoulder when you're a black diver. Like when I started, now I did my open water, and I did the advanced, and for my first maybe 100 dives, I was probably struggling, and just getting on a boat, and one time or a couple times I experienced the look, and I knew I just can't be a regular diver. I have to be the best diver on the boat. But there's no such thing as best diver. But you have to be one of those. You have to be competent, because like one gentleman I met in Hawaii told me, you're a walking ambassador of black divers. It's
Yep.
just, whether you agree or not, whether you're into it or not, whether you carry the flag or not, you're a walking ambassador of black divers, which I find
Absolutely.
interesting, because the first I didn't know any other black divers, and I never actually thought about it. It was just, I started diving, I started posting my pictures, and I started connecting. And I was, wow, when I see another buddy, I'm like, oh, hey, what up, bro? What up, sis? And then we just connect. But I never really thought about it. So I don't know if it's a barrier. Shadow Producer said something. Yeah, I had that look from about 70 people on Saturday. This Saturday, you were just out diving in you were in, where you at, Shadow? What is your name, Shadow? Shadow Producer. This guy, he is a pilot, diver. What are you, James Bond? Pilot, diver, um, entrepreneur, medical practitioner. I don't know. There's a bunch of things. We got to get Shadow Producer on here one of these days. But yeah, it's one of those things. You just have to be competent, because it's not just about you anymore. There's a whole lot more in play. And the hope is to kind of normalize seeing one of us on a boat and just kind of going with it. In the Caribbean, like you said, it's kind of normal because a lot of the local indigenous population does dive in Virginia. Gotcha. But when you go to places like Bali, it's like they're cool with it. They don't it's not in their face. Like they don't go like, oh, can you dive? But it's more like, oh, that's you?
Yeah.
Let me see your card. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
Well, I don't think it's not that people aren't cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think mainstream media and society has gotten people to placing stereotypes not only on black people, but we're so quick to put stereotypes on people. Like if you look at Justin's comment, I can't see it anymore, but Justin said I think he was 395. You know what I'm saying? And he just became an instructor. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Justin.
Yeah,
He
Justin just said, I'm 395. Imagine the looks I get when I dive. Relax, it's just water. Relax, it's just water.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so imagine, for real, imagine the looks he gets when he shows up, and it's kind of sad we got to debunk stereotypes, but that's the world we live in, and like you said, yeah, we're just ambassadors, man. Like we got to go out and show people that I mean, and it's weird to even have this conversation.
It
You
is.
know what I mean? To say we got to show people that we can dive too, like. You know what I mean? Like I'm missing a leg or something. Like no, just because I'm black doesn't mean I can't dive. So yeah, it's just one of those things, man. But I love it, and it's crazy because a lot of the people I teach will only call me and, hey man, you diving this weekend? I'm like, no man, just go ahead and get them diving. Nah, bro, I'm only diving with you. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
have you had any weird experiences being an instructor? And especially being in the South, and folks coming up like, yeah, TJ's your instructor, and they go, have you had any experiences?
yes.
Interesting. Let's hear.
Yes. Like showing up to a spring and booking a Discover Scuba. Like a lot of people say I don't have a Southern accent. A lot of people say I don't have an up North accent. I kind of grew up and down the East Coast.
Right.
But I've had people book through a shop, to do a Discover Scuba, show up, and then like half of the couple, it's like, I'm good. Really? And it's weird because it's generally the female out of the couple. She's kind of like, I'm good. And then the dude is like, well, I paid my money, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird. It's kind of like, I don't care one way or another because I'm the type of scuba instructor. A lot of people do DSDs. They do them for 15 minutes and get you out of the water. Like, hey, bro, we're going to use all the air you can use. We're going to have all the fun we can have. We're going to get out. Like,
make them earn it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I've seen it. You just have to know not to let it discourage you. And again, taking color out of it, it's the same thing if somebody comes up and they're just like, oh, I don't want to dive because I don't like your personality. Like, hey, listen.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Yeah, look, dude, listen, give me 30 minutes. I'm going to put you in the water. If you don't like it, I'll give you your money. Well, I'm not going to give you all your money back. I'll give you some of your money back. And then and then we'll call it a day. And then next thing I know, we're exchanging phone numbers, talking about when we're going to do the person's class. So, if people want to be narrow-minded like that and they want to, basically judge a book by its cover, knock yourself out, man. That's you that's messing up. I'm not missing on anything. I'm still going to dive.
I feel you. I mean, like you said, there's when you're starting out as a diver, they say you don't choose the agency, you choose the instructor. And you choose the instructor based on whether or not you feel like the way they teach, the conversations you have with them is going to fit your learning style. But if you just go by judging the book by its cover, well, that's on you. Happy diving. Hope you're safe.
Yeah, right. Your instructor is not as good as me, so we're good. Not to sound cocky, but like my students will be like, bro, you are the safest dude I know. Like and I think the military did that to me.
Yeah.
I'm
a lot
all
of
about,
redundancies.
Man, listen, I'm telling my students, hey, we got to do safety stops on every dive. Hey, but we're only going to 15 feet. All right, we're going to do a safety stop.
Just
You know what I mean?
let it be part of, just let it be native to you, let it be just natural memory. Now,
Absolutely.
what advice do you have for people getting started? People that are looking to dive, people that are interested in diving, people that started diving and kind of just fell off the bandwagon or fell off the wagon, and because it's a considerable investment, financially, time, resource, energy, mindset. It's something that's pretty tough. So what advice do you have for people just starting out?
So a good friend of mine told me a while ago, last year when I started going to college,
Hmm.
um, I have a very, I won't say bad habit. I have a habit of taking a whole bunch of things that I want to do and starting them all at once. And
Mm,
so I was losing my mind, and I was just like, man, I'm gonna have to quit, some of these things because I can't afford to do this, that, and the other. And then I think some of the realest words I've ever heard come from this person was like, hey, you got to invest in yourself. So for the divers that, or for the people that want to be divers, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Um, get the knowledge. Watch the videos. As much as we watch YouTube for junk that doesn't really help us grow,
mm,
there's the same amount of stuff on YouTube that can help us grow. So watch
mm.
those videos. The Patty
University of
course.
YouTube.
Yeah. University of YouTube is like anything you want to know, you can knock it out. So for those individuals that want to start, just get started. Stop talking yourself out of it. For those that are in the sport, don't settle.
Mm,
I think a lot of people become open water advanced and they're like, I'm good. Because a lot of places you go, you get on the boat, what do they say? Oh, well, you can't go do this one unless you're advanced. Nobody ever
mm.
says you can't go do this unless you're rescue, or you can't go do this unless you're a master diver or dive master. So nobody really worries about those. Very few people worry about, becoming professional divers. So I would say for those divers that are already divers, the open water divers, keep going. Just
Yeah.
just keep going. I'm not telling you got to fast track, but just keep going because the knowledge that you learn, yes, is for you, but it also helps other people. Like if you're a rescue diver and something happens on a boat,
Hmm.
you became that much more effective as a diver. And for those that stop diving, get back into it. I charge $150 for no, I'm playing.
For the refresher
Yeah, for the
course.
refresher course. Nah, but no, just whatever reason you got out of it,
Mm.
for
Those are
financial
really good
reasons.
points.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about diving. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I would go so far as to say, man, diving saves lives.
I personally resonate with that because I actually started diving at a after a life changing event, and I didn't realize it'll have this much impact on my life. I just kind of thought I'll do it, and go out diving on vacations, whatever. But as I kept going, I started drawing similarities to real life decision making, you know, and it puts you to a point where you start to just appreciate um, moments for what they are, and it's very introspective. It's very very introspective. So yeah, like you said, you can't just take open water and like yay or advanced and yay. I always say to every diver, you gotta go at least rescue. It's great if you want to dive once a year and put your fate in someone else's hand. Great, but if you want to do it often, you want to do it and enjoy it and really explore. Come on, you got to go at least rescue. Shadow producer, I'm looking at you. You just got as advanced, so I'm looking at you. Come on, get
Keep
that
going,
rescue,
boss.
man. Keep
Yep, keep
going.
going.
And then when you go past the rescue, you start getting into the dive, going to the professional line where you're now thinking about, your entire group, your other divers, and then you could probably step up and be like TJ right here, Mr. School Instructor. But it's amazing. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. It's a lot of different situations to handle, and you enjoy your dives better when you're more competent. And it's
Yeah,
great to be the kind of diver that looks out not just for yourself, but also for other divers on the dive and other divers in your group. So it's great.
absolutely.
Now, that's great advice for people just starting out. What's the best advice you have received personally that has kind of stuck with you through your career?
My career as a diver.
Yes, sir.
Oh man. So my dad, before God rest his soul, before he passed away, we had a
Mm,
conversation. He was like, just keep going. Like,
mm.
that's it. My dad wasn't a man of words. So he was
As a man
like,
of action.
yeah, he was a man of
Bless
action.
him.
So
Bless
he
him.
was he was like, keep going. And I knew what he meant by that. You know what I mean? As a diver, as a professional diver, this is a funny, the funny thing about diving. A lot of people think that it's just this, lateral, just up.
Yeah.
So you can go be open water, but then come over here and be a side mount dude. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Or come over here and be a wreck diver and do whatever. There's all these specialties or whatever.
Right.
There's literally something for everybody.
There's something
Just
for that's true.
yeah, just keep that forward that forward motion. Don't don't ever settle for just open water. Like go and get into anything. Even what was that what's that one Patty sells? The
Mm, wh-
underwater coral something preservation or something like that.
um, I
You know what I'm
forget.
talking
Coral
about.
regeneration, something like that. It's yeah.
Yeah, like they got some. Personally, I'm not gonna say I don't care about coral. I care about the ocean, but this one, I don't dive, and I'm like, oh, that is some
there,
beautiful coral. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't concern me when I dive. It just
there's
doesn't.
a
But it,
yeah. There's a great video actually. Now that you talk about this, this great diver, British diver in Florida, that talks about the different specialty courses and breaks it down into required stuff, add-ons that kind of lead you to another step, and just plain BS. Yeah, I know there's some we can put in the BS folder, but I'll
yeah,
share that when I share this video. But thanks for bringing that up. Um, that's awesome. It's been great talking to you, David. Let's see if we have any questions from anyone before we kind of go into the next step and wrap it up. I know time is precious, and again, I want to thank you, TJ, for. Should I call you TJ or Tom?
TJ.
TJ.
So
Okay.
if anybody ever yells out Thomas,
Okay.
like I know they don't know me that well.
Okay. Good to know.
You,
I'm like, yo,
yeah,
TJ. Yo,
yeah,
TJ.
yeah. If
TJ.
it's TJ, then I know we got a history. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, hey, what's up, Dow? But if it's Thomas, then I'm gonna act like I don't hear you and just keep it moving.
That's awesome. But that's great. Keep going. Keep pushing it. Don't quit. Never quit. Keep going. No retreat, no surrender. That's great advice. And you share some great advice to our users. Does anyone have any questions? Time is precious. We've just taken TJ's past hour. So let's try to wrap it up here. And hopefully we'll have some more time. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I just hopefully we'll go diving together soon.
Yeah,
What are you,
man.
are you doing cinematography in school?
I am.
Yeah,
I am.
that's awesome.
Which is weird, bro. Because like you pay all this money to go to school, and you like they teach you stuff, but they teach you.
It's showing.
Well, no, they
Base.
teach you baseline, and then I see
So you gotta
somebody
like
else's
build
stuff.
on that.
Yeah, like I see somebody else's stuff, and I'm like, why haven't I learned that yet? Then I get to sit in here. Anybody who knows me, man, will tell you this desk right here that I'm sitting at gets about 90% of my time.
Mm.
Like I gotta learn all this stuff. I gotta learn the editing. I gotta learn how to do all this stuff, music, mixing sound. I gotta learn all that stuff because when I'm done with school, like I gotta hit the ground running, dude.
Yeah, because we got to see that blog when you go on your sabbatical, sailing through Raja Ampat in Indonesia. Let's see, 6'5", where you get your wetsuit from? Um, I would
Bruh.
say the Hollis well, it depends on where you dive, but if you're diving temperate water, I'll say the Hollis, what's the name? But the Hollis full suit, it's an 8 on your torso, 7 on your head, 6 on your lower
Jesus,
body. It actually, they have pretty good sizing.
bro, what thickness wetsuit do you wear?
In California, I wear a 7 mil full suit, and I have a 5 mil vest on it. The
I
water
would
is
die twice.
deceptively cold.
I
The
would
water
die
is
twice.
deceptive. So yesterday I was diving the Yukon in San Diego. It's a former Canadian destroyer, and I dove the Ruby E, which is a Coast Guard cutter, and visibility was this much. Like this is my face, this is my arm, and that's about it. Which is really bad. Some days it gets pretty good. But visibility was really bad. California divers were used to extreme conditions. A lot of surge. Visibility can be crap. Now, in California, if you dive enough, you're gonna get some great, really great conditions. But on average, it's not that good. That's why when California divers go to Cozumel or any other place in the world, we just kind of kick ass and take names. But I'll sit there. Let's see. 50s to 60s. That's and 50s to 60. It's pretty much year round, but in the winter you could get a little bit of 45 here and there. But typically at depth, you go through thermoclines and you just feel the cold and just feel it. Like you feel it, you think it's just you, then you look around and everybody else is like, ooh, you know.
You ever thought about dry suit diving?
I actually did because so the first couple of years I went diving was in California. After that, the first place I went diving was Iceland. Um, 38 degrees that day. It was literally just this above freezing. That's the reason I got my dry suit, just because I figured I was going to Iceland at some point, and when I go there, I do want to dive Silfra. So it was amazing. I enjoyed it. But I don't even dive in California that much. I dive in California maybe once in a while, like once every few months. Wow, it's 91. Do you
Hey,
guys even
Justin.
need wetsuits?
Yeah, Justin dives in like a rash guard and freaking in shorts, basketball shorts, in like pristine water down in southern Florida.
Now, one thing I realize is in the Caribbean, especially, the jellyfish, they sting me to death. Like
Yeah.
I skip the rash guard and I just go with a 3 or a 5. Yeah, 3 or 5. Not even shorties, just a full suit, just to keep it
Yeah.
covered all the way around. But
So
yeah.
my rule of thumb is like when I'm doing the Caribbean, my thing is I always have a wetsuit on, even if it's like a 2 mil, like a free diving suit. I'll
Hmm.
wear that, and that's strictly for the jellyfish and other marine life because I'm one of those people. I just don't like everything touching my skin, like not to sound like a little pansy or nothing. You know what I mean? But you don't know what's out there. You know what I mean? Like
I hear
I
you.
was on a dive site once, dude, and I think I went half the dive site and didn't realize that I was getting followed by a moray eel. You know what I mean? So you never know.
Never
Like,
know.
yeah. So I'm always wetsuited up. I think, but the thickest I've gone, like in winter, I dive a 7 mil, and then on average, I'm in a 3 mil, just diving. And to answer Justin's question about where do you find wetsuits, for people that are 6'5", you don't. So nine times out of ten, I'm in a capri wetsuit. You know what I'm saying? With with baseball sleeves on. I can't find. I need a dry suit. I can't find a dry suit. So if anybody knows, anybody that can fit me for a dry suit, that'd be awesome. And then if I can get a regular wetsuit, that'd be great too.
We have another San Diego-based company, Dewey. I forget what it stands for, but they actually fit. Well, wetsuit, you're on your own. Dry suits, yes, they'll fit you. So Hollis is probably the closest, but anything else, it's gonna be capri and baseball sleeves. So
I'm with it. Maybe I'll start a new trend.
There you go.
I started
That's
like,
height. Continue, so that's height discrimination.
bro, listen. So it's funny you say that, man. It's like, so how tall are you?
Continue is about 6'1", 6'2", 6'1", 6'2".
Okay, so
Am I
that's
right? Oh, I'm 6, just 5'11" and 3/4, enough to be 6. If I grow my hair out, it's 6. So
so
Katunga
it's
is slightly taller than I am, I think. So I'll say 6.
so
Okay.
you
You got to
guys
be like 6'1". So
so
I'm
you guys are
6.
average height, right? So
Yeah.
for me and like Justin, when we walk in the dive shops, it's pretty much like when we walk in the Foot Locker. Like people just look at you and just be like, "No."
Nah.
They don't even
You're done.
yeah, they don't even ask you, bro, like what size you need. You're just like,
That's heightest.
yeah, that's heightest. It is what it is, but it's like
Yeah.
it gets so frustrating. So then everybody's like, "Oh, you can order this online." So then you'll get to ordering stuff online, and then it gets to you, and it's still too small. Like I got to get the biggest, pretty much everything. I need the biggest fins. I need the biggest wetsuit. I need the biggest
Yeah.
booties. It's just so when you get gear, man, you got to cherish it, bro, because you never know when you're gonna get it again.
Letitia's like, don't lie. I am 5'11" and 3/4. If I stand up straight, I'm 6.
Hey, if you
Heightest.
put it on a tee, bro, send me one, please.
Awesome. All right. That's a great chat, man. Great chat. Once again, shout out to 15 Fathoms, 15_FATHOMS, veteran based, veteran owned business, based out of San Diego, California. And TJ, thank you for your service as well.
Thank you,
It's been a
sir.
great chat. Where can we find you online?
Oh man, I don't even know what my dad going. Which name handle is? Hold on. Hey, this is how you know I'm like trash on social media because I don't even know what my own handle is on. So
Hey, you
you can
know
find
what?
me at TJ Diver Official on Instagram, and then if you look up TJ Diver on YouTube, find me on there. Please, please, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. That's where I post all my adventures, and hopefully we can get old Ed on there so we can go dive and do some spear fishing one day once this whole COVID thing is over. So that's where you can find me.
Awesome, awesome. I'm going to put that in a video and post. Either I see you on the other side, you see me over here, or we dive somewhere else together. Looking forward to it. Thank you for your service, and thank you for your time chatting with us tonight.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. One more shout out. So check it
Yes,
out.
sir.
So since we're all here, I would like to shout out the Unicorns of Diving on Instagram. If you didn't know, that's a YouTube group, or not, excuse me, YouTube group, an Instagram group that was started for African American divers. They just started a couple weeks ago. I'm a part of the family. Hope you guys can join the family. So jump on over. Again, that is the Unicorns of Diving. Check them out. Good group, good network to have, just in case you guys are floating around the world somewhere and you want to link up with somebody that's diving that looks like you. Hit them up.
Turn up, turn up. Hey, hey. That's the difference. When we jump in boats, we just do it different.
You know what I'm saying? We should do it a little bit different.
Hey, hey. That's what's up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I think tomorrow we're going to talk to Huda Brown again. It is my fault. I talked to her yesterday, but I somehow missed the audio. So, TJ, thank you for blessing us with your time. We had a lot
Thank
of
you,
great
sir.
conversations tonight, a lot of great topics we touched on. This is Divers Getting Coffee, and I will see you next time. Cheers. Now, let me see if I can save this goddamn video.
Hey, if you can, send it to me.
Yes, I absolutely will. Okay, let's try this.